Lovely. So good evening, and thanks a million for joining me on the yoga mat this evening. This week's focus is on those lovely lower limbs, but a little extra focus onto the ankles and feet as well. When we talk about the lower limbs, basically anything from the hips down, but including the hips. So if there's any little imbalances or niggles within the hips, chances are we're going to find that into the lower limbs, particularly into the ankles, and vice versa. If we've any little niggles, instabilities in the ankles and the feet, chances are they're going to be transferred back into the hips. So I want you to be really conscious of listening to both ankles and hips, and obviously the knees in between, but just that very direct relationship from the ankles to the hips this evening. One thing I always kind of say before we do our lower limbs class, because we'll be working a little bit into the hamstrings, and particularly for athletes, a lot of athletes, particularly if you're very tight in the hips, and you kind of know that if you're sitting in easy cross-legged and the knees are quite high and you're feeling a wee bit crampy into the hip flexors, that's probably the hips looking for a little bit of a release. So if the hips are tight, chances are that pelvis is going to be tilted a little bit forward, and it's going to be pulling on the hamstring muscles. So what might feel like a really tight muscle can actually be over lengthened, and the last thing we want to do is stretch even deeper into an already over lengthened muscle. So I want you to pay particularly attention tonight when we're stretching into the hamstrings. We're just looking for that sensation into the belly of the muscle. If we're feeling it more behind the knee or up near the sit bone, I want you to back off. So you can either soften the knee or drop the leg depending on the pose. And again, I'll guide you through it as we go. And it's not that you're not going to get any benefit from the pose. You can still work into the lower limb, the hip or the core, and it'll just be giving that hamstring a little break. And then our bridge poses are going to be a really good one for you, because we're working strength back into those muscles that might be a little bit long. So we're going to start in a nice easy cross-legged seat once Laura stops talking. Nice and relaxed. Relax the shoulders. We're going to lengthen tall through the spine. Maybe tuck the chin a little bit to release into the back of the neck. We're going to open the palms to the ceiling, and we'll begin. Inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to the ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward and really stretch between the shoulder blades. And we'll do that 2 more times. So a nice big stretch as we inhale, look up. And as we exhale, press forward and release. We'll do that once more. Lovely. We get a little bit of mobility into the spine. So we'll inhale the arms out, reaching up. As we exhale, gently twist to the right. We're going to place the left hand just above the knee and the right hand on the ground behind us, really close to the lower back. As we inhale, press the hand into the ground, lengthen tall through the spine. And as we exhale, we're twisting from the lower back into the ribcage, into the chest, and taking our gaze all the way over that right shoulder. See if we can press the left hand into the leg, maybe drawing ourselves a little bit deeper into that twist. And again, imagining the spine like a string of beads. We're trying to draw those beads apart on the inhale, and then work into the space between on the exhale. We'll take 1 more breath on this side. Nice, relaxed inhale, exhale through the nose. And then gently inhale back through center, little twist to the left just to release, and then back to center again. We're going to reverse the crisscross of the legs just to keep a wee bit of space into those hips, a little bit of balance, opening the palms. We'll inhale the arms out, reaching up, and as we exhale, gently twist to the left, placing the right hand just above the knee, left hand on the ground behind us. As we inhale, press the hand into the ground, lengthen tall through the spine. And as we exhale, gently twist, looking over the left shoulder, maybe pressing the right hand into the leg, drawing ourselves a little bit deeper. And again, that twist starts in the lower back, so the point of least movement all the way up through to the neck, where we generally have a little bit more movement. Lengthening on the inhale, releasing, opening on the exhale. We take 1 more breath on this side. Lovely. Inhale back through center, little twist to the right just to release, and then back to center again. We're going to come straight to lie onto our mats, and just make sure that you have your strap and your block there beside you. So lying slowly back onto our mats. Knees are bent, feet are flat to start with. Lower back is pressed into the ground. We're going to hook the right knee into the chest, straighten the left leg. Right hand rests on the shin, left hand is pressing that left hip to the ground. And notice if the left knee is bent and the back of the leg isn't quite touching the ground. So that could be a sign of a tight hamstring, calf, or also a tight hip flexor. So I do want you to consciously press the back of the leg into the ground, pressing that left hip down. feeling that space into the hips. As we inhale, press the shin into the hand. And as we exhale, open nice and wide into that right hip. Inhale, press shin into hand. Exhale, open a little bit more. We'll take 2 more breaths here, activating on the inhale, releasing, opening on the exhale. 1 more breath. Slowly draw the right knee back into the chest. We're going to reach for our strap or our towel or our pillowcase, whatever you have. We're going to wrap it around the ball of the right foot, tuck the elbows into the waist, and we're going to straighten the right leg up toward the ceiling, drawing the toes toward the face. And just notice where we're feeling that in the hamstring. So we should be feeling it into the lower leg as we draw the toes toward the face. In the hamstring, it's the belly of the muscle. Anywhere else, just soften the knee or drop the heel a little bit and just work into that lower leg. Again, we're looking for an angle, ideally of anywhere between 80 and 90 degrees of the back of the leg to the ground. Keep pressing that left hip down. As we inhale, press ball of the foot into the strap, almost pointing the toes. And then exhale, draw the toes toward the knee, using our strap. Inhale, pressing ball of the foot into the strap. Exhale, toe to knee. And continue with your own breath. You might try pointing out to the right, so everting the foot. You might try pointing to the left, inverting the foot. So we're trying to get a little bit of mobility and strength into those ankle joints. You're also going to feel this all the way into those lower leg muscles. So we're getting into our calf, tibialis, soleus. Might even feel a wee bit into Achilles, but again, not overstretching here, just going to a nice release, a nice mobilization, really feeling that strength. We're going to come to rest. Right hand catches hold of the strap, left hand rests on the left hip. We're going to exhale the right foot out to the right, bend the right elbow, we place it to the ground to support that foot in space. Look over the left shoulder and grounding the left side of the body to the mat. As we inhale, press away through the right heel. And as we exhale, it'll open a little bit more into that hip space. And again, if you need to soften the knee, listen to the body. So there's 3 muscles in our hamstring group. We're working into the second here. As we inhale, press away through the heel. And as we exhale, allow the leg drop out a little bit more. We're keeping the foot up in line with the hip. So it's not about that foot touching the ground. We'll take 1 more breath. Active through the heel. And then inhale all the way back through center. We're going to reverse the grip. Left hand catches hold of the strap. Right arm extends out in line with the shoulder, palm down. We're going to shift the hips to the right until that left hip is centered. And then exhale the right foot all the way over to the left. Again, you might need to shift the hips a little bit more to the right so we can really allow that right leg fall over. Same deal, we're pressing away through the heel. And every exhale, allow ourselves work a little bit deeper into the twist if it feels good. Third belly of our hamstring group, and again just noticing if it's too intense, soften up the right knee. We're still getting a lovely mobilization of the core. We're still working into that right glute, keeping the heart open, right shoulder drawn down for 1 more breath. And then slowly we're going to inhale the right leg back toward the ceiling. Switch hands, right hand catches hold of the strap. We're going to bend the right knee into the chest. As we inhale, press sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, work the right knee outside the line of the body toward the ground beside us. Inhale, press sole of the foot toward the ceiling. Exhale, draw the right knee down. Continue with your own breath. Active on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. We're working into that right hip, a little bit into the hamstring. Again, if the hip's already quite spacious, the right elbow might naturally pop inside the knee, but again, don't force it, only if it comes naturally. Relax the breath, relax the shoulders, and relax. We're going to bend the left knee, place the foot flat to the ground, resting the right ankle just above the left knee, coming into our figure 4. Draw the right toe toward the knee, press the knee away from the body, feel that release. When you're ready, we're going to lift the left foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling. We can either interlock the fingers or wrap our strap around the back of the left hamstring. As we inhale, walk the shoulder blades together. And as we exhale, draw the left knee a little bit closer toward the face as we press the right knee away from the body. Try to keep that left shin parallel. Really enjoying that release into the right hip. No pressure on the right knee, so keep that right foot active. We can stay here if our hips are the priority this evening. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, straighten the left leg up toward the ceiling and really point through the toes. And as we exhale, draw the toes toward the face. So we're inhaling, pointing. And we're exhaling, flexing. Continue with your own breath and really exaggerate that range. Again, if it's too much on the left hamstring, you can still do your ankle mobilizations with the left knee bent. And we're all the time working into that right hip. We're going to draw a few nice big circles to the right, using our big toe to paint those circles. And again, all the movement is at the ankle joint. So we're not moving the full leg. Just moving through that ankle, really exploring every little pocket of that ankle joint and just noticing how it feels. And sometimes it's only when we do these mobilizations that we actually tune into niggles that might be present that we didn't even realize were there. So again, just listening. We're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. So we're working into the foot here as well. We're also engaging and releasing into those lower leg muscles. And again, all really important for balance and stability. So we're looking after our foundations here. The more of these circles we do, we will start to feel those muscles fatigue. Quite a strong little mobilization here into the joint. And then we're going to relax. We'll allow the left knee bend, allow the foot drop. Again, we can stay here, hugging the left knee in. If we want to go deeper, we might interlock the fingers in front of the left shin, but again, only if it feels good, holding it for 3. For 2 and 1, release the left foot down, release the grip, release the right foot down to meet it. We're going to hug the left knee into the chest, straighten the right leg out, and again, really pressing that right foot, that right back leg into the ground. Left hand is on the shin, right hand is on the hip. We're going to inhale, press the shin into the hand, and as we exhale, open into that left hip space. Inhale, press shin into hand. Exhale, open a little bit wider. Continue here with your own breath. Right hip is grounded, back of the right leg, press firmly into the mat. Lower back is connected. And again, we're not pulling the hip open. That left hand is just there for something to press into on the inhale. And an added little weight for the exhale. Taking one more breath into our psoas. Excellent. We'll hug the left knee back into the chest. We're going to reach for our strap. Wrapping it around the ball of the left foot this time. Straightening the left leg up toward the ceiling, drawing the toes toward the face. Tucking the elbows into the waist. See if we can walk those shoulder blades together. Again, straightening the leg, but only to the point where we're feeling it into the bellies of the muscles. Keep drawing the toe toward the knee. And again, we can stay here or we can drop the heel if we need to, or soften the knee. Inhale, press ball of the foot into the strap. And as we exhale, draw the toe toward the knee. Continue with your own breath. So a nice activated mobilization. Again, quite a strong movement into the ankle. Feeling that all the way, strengthening into the back of the left leg. Every time we point through the toes, we're going to feel that activation. We might invert, evert, point inward, point outward with the foot. And again, trying to get into all those lower leg muscles. So again, just exploring that left ankle as much as we can. Noticing how it feels compared to the other side. Relax the breath. And eventually we're going to come to stillness. Left hand catches hold of the strap. Right hand is pressed onto that right hip. We're going to exhale the left foot out to the left. Bend the left elbow. Place the elbow to the ground to support that leg in space. We're looking over the right shoulder, right hip literally glued to the ground. So notice that the bum cheeks come off the ground. We're going to press it all the way back down. As we inhale, press away through the left heel. And as we exhale, allow the hip open a little bit more. And again, conscious of where we're feeling that in the hamstring. Nice, relaxed belly breathing here. In and out, through the nose, softly, softly. And again, if we're not too sure, if we're feeling really tight in the hips and hamstrings, we don't want to overstretch. We can always use something like the wall, like I'm doing here, or the chair or the table, and just rest our foot. So we still get that lovely restorative release without overstretching. We're going to inhale the left leg back up toward the ceiling, reverse the grip, right hand catches hold of the strap, left arm extends out, palm down. Shift the hips to the left. We're going to allow that left leg drop over to the right, looking over the left shoulder this time. A little twist. Again, we might need to shift the hips a little bit more to the left, so that left hip bone is ideally stacked on top of the right. Left shoulder glued to the ground. We're pressing away through the left heel. And again, if it doesn't feel so good and the hamstring, soften the knee. Feel that lovely release into the left glute here as well. And using our belly breath in our twist to really mobilize deeply into the core. We'll take one more breath on this side. Inhale slowly back to center. Reverse the grip. Left hand catches hold of the strap. We're going to hug the left knee into the chest, nice and tight. Right hand rests in the hip. We're going to inhale, press sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, draw the left knee down toward the ground beside us. So inhale, sole of the foot toward the ceiling. Exhale, draw the left knee down. Continue with your own breath. So again, trying to keep the sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling if we can. So this is as much about hamstring as it is about hip. Nice deep bend to the left knee. We'll take one more. Lovely. We're going to bend the right knee, place the foot flat to the ground. We rest the left ankle just above the right knee, figure 4. Draw the left toe toward the knee, press the left knee away from the body, grounding that lower back. We're going to inhale, lift the right foot off the ground, shin parallel to the ceiling. And again, either interlocking fingers around the back of the hamstring, or if we need an extra little bit of length, we can draw our strap around the back of the hamstring, catch and hold at either ends. Walking the shoulder blades together, opening into the heart space, connecting the full length of the spine to the ground. Keep drawing that right knee as we press the left knee away from the body. And again, if it's hip space we're looking for this evening, feel free to stay here. You can still do your ankle rotations. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, straighten the right leg up toward the ceiling and really point through the toes. And as we exhale, draw those toes toward the face. Continue here with your own breath, pointing, flexing on the exhale. And again, as I've mentioned before, depending on what position our foot spends most of its time in. So in our sport, generally our swimmers will find pointing the toe a little bit easier, and our cyclists will find flexing the foot a little bit easier. We're going to draw a few nice big circles to the right, but we're trying to achieve balance as we point, as we flex, as we draw circles to the left, to the right. Relax the breath, relax the shoulders, keep drawing that right leg toward the body. We're going to reverse the circles. Lower back is stable on the mat. And again, just notice how those circles feel compared to the other side. Are they a little bit smoother? Is there a little bit more stiffness to the movement? And again, really engaging and releasing into all those lower leg muscles. Softly, softly. And relax. We're going to bend at the right knee, allow the heel drop. Again, we can stay here, hugging that right knee in. If we feel we need to go deeper, we can interlock the fingers around the front of the right shin, still hugging the knee in, still drawing the left toe toward the left knee, holding it, releasing for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the grip, release the right foot to the ground, left foot comes down to meet right. We're going to work into our bridge poses. So feet are flat, knees are bent. We're going to reach for a block. We're going to place it between the knees and press both knees strongly into the block until we feel those inner thighs really activate. Hands are to the ground, fingertips brush the backs of the heels. When you're ready, we're going to gently peel the lower middle upper back off the ground. As we lift the hips high toward the ceiling, we're going to walk the shoulder blades together underneath the upper back. Again, notice if we're feeling pressure in the lower back, I want you to really draw the belly button in, almost like something's about to drop on your belly and you're trying to resist. Feet are strong on the ground. So we're going to work a little bit in to the calves and hamstrings, so a little bit deeper this evening. As we inhale, we're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. Keep the hips lifted all the time. As we exhale, gently lower the hips. Heels are lifted. Inhale, lift the hips. Heels are still up. Exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, lift the hips, nice and high. Exhale, lower the heels. Last round. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower the heels. Now we're going to get a little bit stronger into those hamstrings. Pressing the heels only into the ground. So we're going to really feel those hamstrings release or engage, as I say. As we exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, flatten the feet. Still in our bridge. Inhale, press heels into the ground. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, flatten the feet. Last one. Inhale, press heels into the mat. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, flatten the feet. Well done. Gently release all the way down to the ground. Slowly, slowly. Release the block off to the side. Feet come width of the mat apart. Allow the knees fall to touch and just really grounding that lower back into the mat. We're going to open the arms into our cactus arms. Inhale at center as we exhale, drop both knees over to the right as we look over the left shoulder. Inhale back through center, exhale, knees drop to the left as we look over the right shoulder, and continue with your own breath. Gently windscreen wiping those knees side to side, making sure there's enough space between the feet so that the opposite knee can fall to the ground behind the opposite foot. And we're trying to press those knees as close to the ground as we possibly can, getting a nice little massage into the glutes, into the lower back, mobilizing into the core of the body, and eventually we're going to meet back at center. This time we're going to bring the knees together, feet together, knees are bent, feet are flat. So setting up for our next bridge sequence, but this time knees and feet are together. Hands to the ground, fingertips that brush the backs of the heels. When you're ready, press both feet into the ground. We're going to gently peel the lower and middle upper back off the ground as we lift those hips high. We're going to walk the shoulder blades together underneath the upper back, pressing hands, arms, shoulders, feet firmly into the ground. Keep those knees together. Really feel hamstrings and glutes switch on here. When you're ready, we're going to keep the hips lifted for as long as we can. Inhale, straighten the right leg out, press it away through the heel. Exhale, draw the knee toward the face. Inhale, straighten the right leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, knee to face. Inhale, straighten the right leg out, knees are touching. Exhale, return the right foot to the ground. Keep the hips lifted. Inhale, straighten the left leg out. Exhale, draw knee to face. Inhale, straighten the left leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, knee to face. Inhale, straighten the left leg out. Exhale, return the left foot to the ground. Gently release all the way down to the ground. We're going to hug the knees into the chest and just make a few little circles, figure eights, either or both directions into that lower back. Relax the breath, relax the shoulders. And then we'll come for our second round. Knees are bent, feet are flat, knees together, feet together, fingers brush the backs of those heels. When you're ready, press the feet into the ground. We're going to gently peel the lower, middle, upper back off the ground as we lift those hips high, walking the shoulder blades together. Again, we're going to try to keep those hips lifted, bellies drawn in, no pressure on that lower back. Lovely. Inhale, straighten the right leg out. Exhale, draw the knee toward the face. Inhale, straight leg toward the ceiling. Exhale, knee to face. Inhale, straighten the right leg out, knees together. Exhale, return the right foot to the ground. Hips are lifted. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, knee toward face. Inhale, straighten the left leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, knee to face. Inhale, straighten the left leg out. Exhale, left foot back to meet right. Option here to take a breather, or we can come straight to the other side, holding our bridge for 3, for 2, and 1. Back into our bridge. We're going to inhale, straighten the right leg. Last round. Exhale, knee toward face. Inhale, press the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. Exhale, knee to face. Inhale, straighten the right leg out. Exhale, return it to the ground. Last side. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, knee toward chest. Inhale, sole of the foot to the ceiling. Exhale, knee to face. Inhale, straighten the left leg out. And then exhale, return the left foot to the ground. Slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, releasing to the mat. Lovely. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Allow the knees drop out, hands are rested on the inner thighs. Shifting the shoulders up the mat so we can connect the full length of the spine to the ground. And just gently rocking the hips side to side. Release the shoulders, release the breath. See if we can press that lower back into the ground, just massaging it out, letting it go. And then coming to stillness, we're going to draw the knees back together. Hug the knees into the chest. We crisscross the ankles. Options to make your way anyway to seat, or you can rock and roll with me, just the once. We're going to bring ourselves forward into a nice strong seat at the front of the mat. Hands come forward out in front. We're going to shift the body weight forward to step back onto the knees, centering ourselves in the middle of the mat into a nice strong tabletop. Shoulders over elbows over wrists, elbow creases face forward, knees hip width distance apart, hips are over knees. Just notice if the belly's collapsed here. I want you to really draw the belly button in until you feel that lower back really engaged. We're going to tuck the toes under, just get a nice little stretch into the feet this evening. Inhale, draw the chest forward as we take the gaze up and arch the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, take the gaze back to the belly. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, and continue with your own breath. Nice, generous cat-cow curls, the whole length of the spine, trying to create as much movement and energy into the body. Eyes are closed, and we're just letting ourselves go with the flow here. Not forcing the movement, but trying to explore every little part of the spine as we go. Eventually, we're going to meet back in our tabletop. Hands stay where they're at, left knee stays where it's at. We're going to straighten the right leg behind us, pressing back through the heel. Again, try not to allow the belly collapse. We're going to bend the right knee and press the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. Really feeling that glute and hamstring engage. We're going to gently pulse through the foot. Arms are strong. Head and neck are relaxed, so just think of the neck as an extension of the spine. We're not looking forward, we're not looking back. Nice neutral spine here for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to straighten the right leg and then land on the ball of the right foot. Gently press back through the right heel. Gentle stretch for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, lift the right leg. And as we exhale, we're going to draw the right leg all the way out to the right. We're going to land the right foot to the mat or to the ground, pressing the outer blade of the foot into the ground. Left toes tucked under, and we're just going to gently shift the body weight forward and back, bouncing a nice controlled, mindful movement. As we go, keep pressing the outer blade of that right foot into the ground. And we can continue to rock forward and back, or we can sit all the way back to the left heel, or we might even untuck the toe and sit all the way back down again. We might even walk those hands out in front, maybe rest onto the forearms or all the way down to the ground. But I want you to be super conscious of pressing the outer blade of the right foot toward the ground. See if we can get a lower leg outer stretch and an upper leg inner stretch. Releasing here for 3, for 2, and 1. Shift the body weight forward, meeting back up into our tabletop. We're going to bring the right leg behind us, and then we're going to bend the right knee into the chest, step the foot between the hands. We're going to shift the left knee back as far back as we can go until we start to feel the hip release. We can unhook the toe. Right knee stays stacked over the ankle. We're going to get the right forearm, hook it behind the right knee, and gently shift the body weight forward. So that right knee is starting to track over the toe, and we're trying to press that right heel down as it peels off the ground. And again, you can always use that left hand to press the foot down if you need an extra little help. So again, right arm is there, so we're not over compressing into that knee joint. It's also a nice little massage for the calf. And again, if we are recovering from any calf, Achilles injuries, we're just not going too deep here. So it's a nice sense of gentle release, holding it for 3, for 2, and 1. We took the left toe under, coming back until that right knee is stacked over the heel. We're going to walk the hands back toward that left knee and sit all the way back to the left heel, drawing the right toe toward the face. We're going to feel this a wee bit into the hamstrings. So again, if you need to soften that right knee, listen to the body. When we go through our flow, we're going to take this pose, but it's going to be a moving pose. So feel free to use 2 blocks to get a little bit extra length into those arms, or even 2 books or 2 stacks of books. We're going to gently walk all the way to the front of the mat and then step the right knee back to meet left back into our tabletop. Same on the other side, we'll straighten the left leg back, active through the left heel, we bend the left knee, press the sole of the foot toward the ceiling and gently pulse. Feeling that into hamstring and glute, keep drawing the belly button in so we're not collapsing into the lower back. Super strong in the arms and shoulders, neutral neck, holding it, pulsing for 3, for 2, and 1. Straighten the left leg. We're going to land on the ball of the left foot, gently press away through the heel for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, lift the left leg back, and as we exhale, draw the left leg all the way to the left. We're going to land the foot to the ground. Tuck the right toe under if it's not tucked already, pressing the outer blade of the left foot into the ground, and then gently just rocking the body forward and back mindfully, noticing how that feels. Maybe one side feels a little bit crampier than the other. So again, it's a really good way of just tuning in to where those hips are at, where those hamstrings are at, where those lower limbs are at. And again, if it feels good, we can sit all the way back toward the right heel. We might even untuck the right toe and sit all the way back further. And again, just notice if it's a little bit easier on one side than the other. We might walk the hands forward. We might bring the forearms to the ground. But again, keep pressing the outer blade of that left foot firmly toward the mat, holding it for 3. Releasing with the breath for 2. And 1, back up onto the hands, nice and slowly. And we'll bring that left leg behind us. And as we exhale, hug the left knee into the chest. We'll step it between the hands. Shift the right knee back as far back as we can go. We can untuck the toe. Left knee is stacked over the ankle to start with. We're going to hook the left forearm underneath the left knee and gently shift that left knee forward. So body weight is moving forward. Again, conscious that we are recovering from any Achilles calf issues. Nice and gentle here. Pressing that left heel down. So we're stretching, but we're also strengthening. So it's a resisted stretch, holding it for 3. Relax that left hand for 2. And 1, tuck the right toe under. Coming back up onto the finger pads, we're going to gently shift the body weight back onto the right heel and draw that left toe toward the face. And again, just holding it, softening the shoulders, opening the heart for 3. For 2. And 1, gently walk the hands back to the front of the mat. We're going to bring the left knee back to meet right. Toes are tucked under, knees and feet are about hip width distance apart, hands are all the way to the front of the mat. Looking back toward the toes, we're going to gently lift those hips nice and high toward the ceiling and lower the heels down toward the ground, coming into our downward dog. Pressing the ground away, try to draw the chest a little bit closer toward the mat. Head and neck fully relaxed here. We're just going to gently paddle out the feet, allowing opposite heels melt softly toward the ground. Again, if they don't touch, don't get too caught up with that. Just notice if one's dropping a little bit easier than the other. So it could be a calf issue, could be Achilles, could be hamstring, could be ankle. But again, just tuning in, noticing any little imbalances. Softening a little bit more with each step. We're going to look forward between the hands, gently walk away to the front of the mat. Coming through a nice wide-legged forward fold. We're going to bend deeply into the knees, rest the belly onto the legs, and just hold on to opposite elbows. Allow the head and neck fully relax here. Take a few nice deep belly breaths. And just allow that lower back release. Head and neck fully relaxed. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out, release the fingertips to the ground. We're going to tuck the chin in and slowly roll our way all the way up to stand. Head comes up last. Lovely. Take a little drink here if you need. We're going to go through our flow practice when you're ready. So if you do have a block, if you want to place it toward the front of the mat, and again, if you're not too sure about the hamstrings and you want a little bit of extra length in the arms, place your 2 blocks either side of the mat, maybe a little bit closer toward the front and back. Coming to the front of the mat, feet nicely grounded, about hip width distance apart. Really spreading through the toes here. So really rooting our foundations, drawing the toes toward the heels and feeling those arches engage. And then see if we can spread those feet a little bit more. Hands come to heart. Relax the shoulders, lengthening tall through the crown of the head. Find a point out in front, a drishti point, a point of focus to fix your gaze. When you're ready, we're going to inhale high up onto the balls of the feet, lifting those heels as high as we can go, really activating those calf muscles. We're just looking for stillness here. And again, if you're on a soft surface, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So if you want to bring yourself to a harder surface or off the mat, just until you get that stillness. Holding it for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release the heels. Next, inhale, high up onto the balls of the feet. Again, we can stay here, looking for stillness. If we want to challenge it, we can soften at the knees and slowly sit back. Just make sure the knees keep pointing forward. They're not splaying out to the sides. Body weight is centered. We're not leaning forward. We're not leaning back. Feeling that into the lower legs, but now also into the quads and hamstrings. Hold wherever you are for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale all the way back up. Heels are lifted. And then exhale, release. Well done. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge. Right hand stays grounded. We'll inhale the left arm up and open the heart. Exhale, left hand back to the ground. Dropping right heel down. Engage the core, make our way into a warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down, softening into the left knee. Really pressing the outer blade of that right foot into the ground, drawing the hips together. Looking toward that left middle finger. We're going to inhale, straighten the left leg. Arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the left knee, open the arms, warrior lunge. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen and rise. Exhale, warrior lunge. 1 more. Meeting in a warrior, we're going to rest the right hand on the back leg. Inhale the left arm up, flip the palm, and as we exhale, reach the left arm to the back of the room, bending strongly into the left knee, looking over the shoulder, or maybe up toward that left middle finger, challenging the balance for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale back to warrior center, and as we exhale, cartwheel both hands down, either side of the left foot, coming onto the ball of the right. We're going to release the right knee to the ground, cushion it if you need. We'll inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart as we soften into the hips, interlock fingers just above the knee. We're going to inhale, lengthen tall, and exhale, release those hips. 2 more. Again, you can shift that right knee back a little bit if you feel you need a wee bit more depth into the hips. Try to keep that left knee stacked over the ankle. Meeting in our low lunge, we're going to open the arms into cactus. So open heart here, really engaging with those shoulders as we draw them together down the spine. Gaze is fixed out in front for this whole movement. Inhale, straighten the left leg, draw the toes toward the face. As we touch the fingers down, we're sitting back toward the heel. Again, if it's too much of a reach, place the blocks or books either side. Exhale, bend the left knee, open the arms, cactus lunge. Inhale, lengthen forward, draw the toe to face as we touch the fingers down. Exhale, bend the left knee, open the arms, cactus lunge. Continue with your own breath. Again, cushion that right knee if it's feeling cranky. You can even roll up the edge of the mat just to give it an extra little bit of cushioning. So don't battle through the movement, try to make it as accessible as you can. We're pressing that left heel into the ground, using our left heel as our pivot point throughout the full movement, particularly as we sit back. We're going to meet in our cactus lunge. When you're ready, reset, and then we'll frame the left foot with both hands. Coming off the right knee, we're going to shift the body weight forward to step the right foot up to meet left, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, goose forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, left hand stays grounded. We'll inhale right up and open the heart. Exhale, right hand back to the ground. Dropping left heel down, engage the core up into our warrior, extend the arms, palms face down, softening into the right knee. Right heel is bisecting the arch of the back foot. Shoulders are relaxed, belly drawn in. Again, that right knee is pointed directly forward, looking toward that right middle finger. We're going to inhale, straighten the right leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the right knee, warrior lunge, 2 more. Keep drawing those inner thighs toward each other, super strong in the hips. 1 more. Meeting in a warrior, keeping the right knee bent, we rest the left hand on the back leg. Inhale the right arm up, flip the palm, and as we exhale, reach the right arm to the back of the room, either looking over the shoulder or up toward the right middle finger. Again, that left hand is just rested. We're not putting any pressure on the knee, holding it for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, back to warrior center. And as we exhale, cartwheel both hands down, either side of the right foot, coming onto the ball of the left. Release the left knee to the ground, cushion it if you need. We'll inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart as we sink into the hips, interlock fingers just above the knee. Right knee is stacked over the heel. Again, shift the left knee back if you need. We're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, sink the hips. 2 more. Keep drawing the belly in, relax the shoulders, gaze is out in front. Last one. In our low lunge, we're going to open our arms into our cactus, really strong in those shoulders. Gaze is forward all the time. We're going to inhale, straighten the right leg, draw the toes toward the face, touch the fingers down, back toward that left heel. Again, noticing where it's in the hamstring. If we need to keep a soft knee, listening. As we exhale down the right knee, open the arms, cactus lunge. Inhale, lengthen forward, touch the fingers down, toe to face. Exhale, cactus lunge, and continue with your own breath. And again, if movement is not for you this evening, feel free to stay into any part of the pose that feels good. Find stability, find softness. Then if you want to go into the next part, listen to your body. You want to feel stable within the movement. So we're not shaking, we're not falling, nice and strong. Gaze is forward all the time. Again, we're pressing that right heel into the ground, particularly as we sit back. So we're keeping that right hamstring engaged throughout the whole movement. We're going to meet in our cactus lunge. We're going to frame the right foot with both hands, coming off the left knee, gently shift the body weight forward. We're going to step the left foot up to meet right, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a little drink if you need. We're going to go into a second round when you're ready. A meeting at the front of the mat. Feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Hands to heart. Relax the shoulders, roll the belly in. Find that point out in front to fix your gaze. When you're ready, I want you to really ground that right foot into the mat. We're going to lift the left knee out in front, holding it there. Nice 90-degree angles at all the joints. We can stay here aiming for balance. If we want to challenge it a little bit further, see if we can lift that right heel off the ground. And it might be just a millimeter. We might need to drop down, but this is really challenging on that right ankle, that right lower leg, calf. Really all the muscles surrounding that right ankle, holding it for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the heel, placing that left foot down to meet right. We're going to inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, right hand stays grounded. Inhale, left arm up and open the heart, gaze up. Exhale, left hand back to the mat. Dropping right heel down. Engage the core up into our warrior. Extend the arms, palm space down, softening into the left knee. Inhale, straighten the left leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the left knee. Warrior. 2 more. Keep pressing the outer edge of that right foot firmly into the mat. Nice and strong. Last one. Meeting in a warrior this time, cartwheel both hands down, either side of the left foot. Coming on to the ball of the right, sinking those hips to the ground. Again, right knee can be on or off the mat here. We're going to inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart as we soften into the hip. Interlock fingers just above the left knee. And again, if you need to shift that right foot back, pressing back through the heel, we're going to inhale and fall through the spine. Exhale, release the hips. 2 more. Again, release that right knee to the ground if we feel it's unstable or if it's rocking. And just work into that hip space. Last one, we're going to release the right knee all the way to the ground if it's not there already. Sinking into those hips, we'll open our arms into our cactus. Inhale, straighten the left leg, draw the toes toward the face as we touch the fingers down. Exhale, bend left knee, open the arms, cactus lunge. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, cactus lunge. Continue with your own breath, as slow as you need to go. And we're mindfully moving into that left hamstring. Keep pressing the left heel into the ground. Keep the left knee soft if you need. Gazes forward, particularly as we sit back, so we're not collapsing into the heart here. Relax the breath. We'll take 1 more wherever we are. And we're going to meet in our cactus lunge. Framing the left foot with both hands. Coming off the right knee. We're going to walk those finger pads about half a foot out in front. Gently shift the body weight forward until we can lift the right heel up toward the ceiling. Engaging that right hamstring and glute. Really active through the toes. See if we can lift the leg a little bit higher. We might use our block if we want a little bit more space behind the left leg, bringing the hands to rest on our block or blocks. We might catch hold of the wall or a chair and just focus on that leg lift. If we have the leg lift, we want to get a little bit more challenged. We can come off one hand, we can come off both hands, or we can open our arms into our airplane, but just keep lifting that back leg, holding it, engaging with the core for 3, lifting for 2, and 1. Hands to the ground, right foot comes to meet left, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Second and last side. When you're ready, coming to the front of the mat, feet nicely grounded. Again, really spreading those toes, really wide, engaging with all corners of the feet. Hands are to the heart, gaze is forward, soft. We're going to really grind that right foot into the mat this time. Oh, sorry, the left foot. Nearly got away with it. And then we're going to bring that right knee out in front. Lovely, strong angles at the knee, at the hip, and at the ankle. 90-degree angles. And again, we can stay here focusing on our balance. Just make sure that left hip hasn't collapsed outward. Nice, even hips. If we want to challenge it further, keeping that gaze out front, see if we can lift off the left heel. And just notice it's a little bit trickier than the other side. So we're really tuning into any little imbalances that might be there that maybe we weren't aware of. And again, if we drop out, just come back in, challenging the body for 3. Our foundations for 2. And 1. Release the left heel, release the right foot down to meet left. Inhale, both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, left hand stays grounded. Inhale, right arm up and open the heart. Exhale, right hand back to the ground. Dropping left heel down, engage the core, making our way into a warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down, right knee, right foot pointed forward, relax the shoulders. Following that right middle finger, we're going to inhale, straighten the right leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the right knee, warrior lunge, 2 more. Meeting in our warrior, we're going to cartwheel both hands down, either side of the right foot, coming onto the ball of the left and just softening into the hips here. Again, left knee on or off the ground, your choice. We're going to inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart as we soften into the hips. We'll interlock fingers just above the right knee. Again, if we're off the left knee, we're actively pressing back through the heel. We're sinking into the hips. Inhale, press the hands into the leg, lengthen tall through the spine. And as we exhale, release. 2 more. Relax the shoulders, softening the hips. Each exhale, 1 more. And then slowly release that left knee all the way to the ground. If it's not there already, cushion it if you need. Opening those arms into cactus. Gazes forward, out in front, pressing that right heel into the ground. We're going to inhale, straighten the right leg, draw the toes toward the face as we touch the fingertips down. Exhale, bend the right knee, open the arms, cactus lunge, and continue with your own breath. And only going as deep as feels good for you. Again, remember, if we're not too sure, keep that right knee bent or slightly soft. You can really work into that hip space in the left. Still lengthening into the spine, still opening into the heart, and still working into that lower leg without stressing out the hamstring. And as we press that right heel firmly into the ground, we're still keeping that hamstring muscle engaged, even as we sit back. We're going to meet in our cactus lunge when you're ready, wherever we are. Reset here, and then we'll frame the right foot with both hands. Coming off the left knee, we're going to walk the finger pads about half a foot out in front. Gently shift the body weight forward until we can lift that left heel nice and high toward the ceiling. Again, we can come up onto the fingertips, we can come up onto our blocks, our books, our table, our chair, the wall, whatever we have. We might try to challenge the balance by floating the hands one at a time off the ground, or we might even open into our airplane, but just keep lifting that back leg. So if we're in our airplane and that left foot is close to the ground, I'm going to encourage you to bring the hands back to the ground and just focus on engaging that left glute and hamstring for 3. Lift for 2. And 1. Release the hands, release the left foot down to meet right. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Well done. We're going to finish our practice with our tree pose, or nearly finish it. So I'm going to invite you to, if you have a particularly squidgy mat or squidgy surface, you can come to a hard surface, or if you want to challenge it, you can stay on your soft surface. If you want, you can have a wall or chair close by within arm's reach in case you need a little aid. So we're going to start, feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Feel free to come into your full tree if you've been here already. Hands come to the hips. We're going to rotate the right hip open and then rest the right heel just above the ankle, but try not to allow that left hip pop out. So nice and strong in the hips. We can bring the hands to heart. This could be where our tree pose finishes. Or we might bring the right foot to rest on the calf, but keep working that right knee out so we're really engaging with that right hip. Or we might bring the right foot to the upper inner thigh, pressing the heel of the foot into the leg. So no pressure on that left knee, either above or below. Relax the shoulders. Find a point out in front to fix your gaze. So ideally something that's not moving. It could be where the ceiling meets the wall or the wall meets the floor, or some object in between. Really spreading the toes of that left foot, our strong foundation. If we found stillness here and we want to come into our full tree, we can inhale both arms out, reaching up, palms together. And as we exhale, open out our branches, pressing index finger and thumb together, relax the shoulders, draw the belly in, softening the breath, softening the face, and just breathing into that space. Again, we're aiming for stillness. And if we feel we want to challenge that stillness, we can always sway our branches. We can rotate into our trunk. We can close down the eyes. Or we can even come up onto the ball of that left foot, just hovering the heel off the ground, and just notice how that feels. So again, if you're working your tree pose in your own practice, a really good one for bringing stability into our foundation, particularly that ankle and lower leg. Wherever we are, we're just going to come to stillness and remain here for 3. Relax the breath for 2. And 1, we'll bring the hands back to heart. We're going to bring the right knee out in front and then release and let it go. And we'll shake that left foot out. So again, really strong in that standing leg. Coming over to the other side, again, feet nicely grounded. This time the right foot is particularly grounded. We'll bring the hands to the hips. We're going to rotate the left hip open this time, resting the heel just above the ankle. We might stay here. Working that left knee outward, bringing the hands to the heart. Again, we might bring the foot to the calf, pressing calf into foot, foot into calf. Or we might bring the left foot to the upper inner thigh, but just make sure we're not pressing laterally into that left knee joint. Keep working the left hip open, relaxing into the breath, finding that point out in front to fix your gaze. Spreading through the toes of that right foot. And you might find one side is a lot easier or a little bit more challenged than the other. So again, just tuning in with those little imbalances and instabilities. And use the wall if you need, and then little by little becoming less reliant on that wall. If you want to come into your full tree, we're going to inhale both arms out, reach it up, palms together. As we exhale, open our branches. Pressing index finger and thumb together, relax the shoulders, lengthening tall through the crown of the head. So again, imagining yourself like a tree drawing upwards toward the sun. So really opening into that heart space. Again, feel free to challenge your pose. You might sway your branches, twist through your trunk. You might close down the eyes. That's a really hard one. Or you might come off that right heel and see if you can come onto the ball of the right foot. Again, really strong in that ankle joint. And it might just be a millimeter off the ground. And again, if you come out, just come back in. So the nice thing about our balance poses, the more we do, the stronger, the more stable we're going to become. Relaxing with the breath wherever you are for 3. For 2. And 1. Bringing the hands back to heart. We're going to bring the left knee out in front and exhale, release and let it go. And shake that right foot out. Lovely. We're going to finish our practice this evening with our legs up against the wall. So I'm going to invite you to get to your mat. We're going to bring it perpendicular to the wall. So just like I am doing here. And then we're going to bring our bodies parallel to the wall. So we'll start with our left shoulder to the wall. We're going to lie back onto the forearms, and we're going to use our forearms and elbows to scoot our body so that we are now perpendicular to the wall. So nice and slowly. We're going to bring the legs up the wall. And again, we can shift the body toward the wall, but just make sure the lower back is connected to the ground at all times. So again, notice you might need to shift your way back. We can stay here with the legs up the wall. If we want to come into a lovely hip release for the last pose this evening, we can allow those heels melt away from each other, coming into a lovely V shape with the legs. And we're allowing the weight of the legs fall completely into the wall. We're allowing the weight of the body fall completely into the floor. Options for the hands, we can either rest the hands on the inner thighs, bringing a little bit of consciousness to that hip space. Just make sure the arms are relaxed, walking the shoulder blades together. We can always open into our cactus arms if that feels better. Or if you want to bring a little extra focus to your breath this evening, we can rest the right hand on the belly, the left hand on the chest. But again, just make sure those arms are relaxed and in contact with the ground. Wherever we are, focusing on a lovely deep belly breath. Feeling the belly rise, feeling the chest rise, feeling the heart open, And as you exhale, feel free to sigh it all out and let it go. Eyes are closed. And we're just enjoying that space for what it is. Allowing the wall and ground to support the body. So we don't want to feel that we're holding shape. We're just releasing into the pose. Softening with each exhale. Relax the shoulders. Maybe you can tuck the chin a little bit to release the back of the neck. Softening the face. Notice if we're holding tension in the jaw, maybe just gently parting the lips. Notice if we're frowning, again, just gently melting out the brow. And again, we could stay here for a lot longer. So again, feel free to either stay here as I finish up the practice, or you can come back into the pose after. This is a really lovely recovery pose, but it's also a really lovely way of just resetting the body. So it's a form of inversion, like our headstand or our handstand, where we're just turning the body upside down, giving it a little reset, a little kick. So again, just enjoy that for now. I could totally stay here all night myself. But for now, we're going to ease our way out of the pose. So we're going to get both hands. Again, if you're coming out of the pose, we're going to place them to the outside of the thighs, and we're just going to internally rotate those knees toward each other. So we're just taking the pressure off the hips. We're using those hands to support the legs, and we're going to use those hands to bring the feet together back off the wall. Knees are nice and soft, and we can just wiggle out the legs, wiggle out the hips. And then we're going to shift our way away from the wall so that there's about a foot, maybe even a foot and a half between the body and the wall, so we're not right up against it. And then we're going to hug the knees into the chest, give them a nice little squeeze. And then we can release the grip, release the feet back to the ground. We're going to slowly roll over onto our right hand side. We'll just take a couple of moments here, reconnecting with the body, mind, and breath. And then when you're ready, in your own time, we're going to press the left hand into the ground to slowly bring ourselves all the way back up to seat. Head comes up last. And then we can meet in any comfortable seat for you. So it could be back into easy cross-legged, sitting back in the heels, legs stretched out in front, so whatever feels good. And just coming back to that lovely long spine, that lovely open heart. We're going to open the palms to the ceiling, and we'll finish like we started. Inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward, release the breath, sigh it out and let it go. We'll do that twice more. Gently bringing the hands to heart, press the palms together, close down the eyes, and just thank yourselves for creating a wee bit of space in your evening to come to the mat, to create some lovely energy, some lovely strength, some lovely release, and hopefully take that with you into the evening and into the week ahead. And thank you for sharing your practice and your energy with me. Namaste.